Hi, my name is Zoran. In this video we will talk about non-destructive mutation. What does it mean to mutate an object without destroying it? And how do we implement it using records or common classes that are not records? You may know me from my Pluralsight videos. If you want to learn more about this and other topics about programming and design with C# in general, please watch my courses at Pluralsight or subscribe to this channel to receive notifications about new videos and live coding sessions. Alright, the non-destructive mutation. What does it mean to mutate an object and not destroy it? I will start from a record, because records are implementing the non-destructive mutation at the level of syntax. So if you instantiated a record, you could mutate it using the with expression. Only I want to improve this notation, this construction a little bit, and you will see the reason why. I want to use the initializer syntax, because in the with expression, which I'm going to apply in a minute, that is the way how you mutate the state of an object. But as you can see, the compiler is complaining. It is complaining because I cannot skip initialization through constructor parameters. They are mandatory in the record. You can avoid this compile time error by using defaults in the constructor. Now, if you placed a value both inside parentheses as a constructor parameter and in the initializer, then the initializer comes next and it will override whatever you passed to the constructor. So you don't have to use the constructor parameter in this case when using initializers. Alright, now, how do we mutate this instance, this person instance with name Joe and age 28? How do we change the name of that person to construct a new person? Here it is, the with expression. This is the non-destructive mutation. The Joe instance remains intact. The Jim instance is constructed anew with age copied from Joe and the name set to the new value. I can print these two instances out. This write lines is my own extension method useful in debugging. So, when we run the application, you will see the two instances, Joe and Jim, the two instances, the two persons with the same age but only the name that differs. This is the principle of non-destructive mutation, constructing a new object without destroying the prior one. Both references will remain, and both references are useful in any context where you need them. Now, how do we accomplish the same goal with a common class? For example, I might construct a class which is also modeling a person, also having name and age, also having a constructor with the default parameter values. This class is in many respects the same as the record above. It differs in that the record will have value typed equality implemented, and my class does not have. So what if you had a class which is not suitable to become a record? For example, a class which is modeling an entity which has a lifetime, and so an object of that class may model an entity in different moments in time. It is usually modeled by adding an identity to a class and then saving that object into the database. So the object will have a lifetime, it will change over time, and hence it doesn't have an equality defined. You can check two persons saved in the database for equality in at least two ways. One is including ID. Do these two objects have the same ID? Then it is the same person. The other equivalence is using state and saying, is this ID and everything else the same between these two person objects? If yes, then they are equivalent. But both equivalence definitions are correct for an object which you save in the database. And therefore, object like that cannot have equals method implemented, because we don't know how to implement it. There are two ways to implement it. And so we have one such class here, a class with no equivalence, but we want non-destructive mutation because entities can be either mutable or immutable, and if we chose to model them with an immutable class, then we need non-destructive mutation as a useful feature on that class. So how do we implement it? Alright, this is the Joe person instantiated from a common class. Again, observe that the class is exposing init-only setters, so I can also use this initializer syntax, which I like very much. It adds readability to construction. And we can create the new object, Jim, by copying age from Joe and adding a new value for the name. Well, this is non-destructive mutation. This is poor man's non-destructive mutation. We don't like to do it this way because it is very verbose. And also, what if the person class added another parameter to the constructor? Now we must visit all the places where we used non-destructive mutation in this way and add another parameter to the constructor. I don't like it. Let me do it this way by copying both constructor parameters and setting the name or changing the name through the initializer. This is even more verbose, but you will see that this is the step towards a much better non-destructive mutation implemented in a common class. I'm printing both objects, and as you can see, the output is the same for the record and for my own class. I want non-destructive mutation in this common person class, my custom class, as close as possible to the with expression, which is very easy to write. It is safe. It doesn't need further maintenance when more parameters, more properties are added to the record. We had non-destructive mutation in classes decades before records appeared. And this is one common way in which we used to implement it. We used to expose public methods with the names starting with. That was a convention. With name. A person with name and give it a new name. So this public method is responsible to list all the constructor parameters for us. It is encapsulating the call to the constructor. If more properties were added to the common person class later, then only the common person class's body should change. This is the place where we fix it. No caller ever would have to change where only the name was supposed to be changed. Let me show you. Before that, let me do the same for the age. Another method with age, which only changes the age but copies the name. So let's use them. We can start from the Joe instance, say with name Jill, and have a new instance, which is copying everything from the existing Joe instance and only mutating the name. This design with methods named with is still a common and usual practice in classes that are not records. So if you like this, use it. But there is an even better option today now that we have init-only setters. You can use a so-called copy constructor. It is a constructor which can either be public or private, depending on who's going to use it, which receives another instance of this class. Its responsibility is to copy the entire state from this instance into the newly instantiated object. And that is all. That's all that it does. It creates a shallow copy, or technically it could be a deep copy. You decide. You're writing this copy constructor to achieve any goals you have in this class. When you say copy this object into another one, what does that mean in this concrete class? Well, you know that, and you implement this constructor any way you find correct. But now we can combine the public copy constructor with init-only setters to achieve syntax. Now look at this, which is very close to the with expression in records. You can create a new instance, copy the existing instance into it, and change the name or whatever property you wanted to change, using the initializer syntax. This is very close to with expressions. But this is funny. You cannot do this with records. Here, if I tried to create a new record with using the copy constructor and setting name to a different value, compiler would suddenly start to complain. It is not because records do not have the copy constructor, they do. Here is the compile time error. It says that the copy constructor is inaccessible due to its protection level. The record will have a copy constructor, but it will be private. I'm not sure why that decision was made. There probably is some reason for that. But this syntax is inaccessible to records. Nevertheless, you don't need it. You have the with expression, which is even more readable. You can create multiple instances using either the with expression for records or any of these valid methods of copying content in common classes. And when you run this application, it will obviously print the same things either way. We do have non-destructive mutation implemented in the record already, and we have the way to mimic that same logic in any common class that we create. Before we split, I wanted to show you one interesting technique, how non-destructive mutation can be used to construct many instances from a template. For example, you can take one child instance, which represents a child of age 14, and we want to construct a school class, a bunch of children with the same age. This is the way, just give them names. Start from the template object, copy everything it has, and just give them different names. We can do the same thing with the common class. There's no obstacle to this. When we start the application, these are the two school classes, one with records, another with common objects. They work the same as expected. This is all I wanted to show you about non-destructive mutation in records and common classes. If you liked what you have learned in this video, please watch my courses at Pluralsight. See you in the next video.